No. My mom is American, but she, for her children, learned Spanish through family members living with us, or she even took a couple classes. So our house was, it was combined. My dad had a hard time learning English, but for us, he also learned it. So it was just a mix between basically the both languages in our house. Before I went to school, I had a lot of family members live with us that would come straight from Mexico, and so they didn't speak English at all. And I was very shy. I didn't want to speak Spanish, and my aunts, weren't sure why, why I didn't want to speak the language. Wasn't that I didn't want to speak the language, I was just shy at that point. So when I got to kindergarten, I had learned the language, I just didn't, nobody knew. So when I got to kindergarten, my mom was a little worried that I wasn't gonna be able to make it in a bilingual class, because I didn't speak Spanish. So one day she came to school and my teacher said, "Oh, she speaks Spanish just fine, go listen to her." So I was just shy, but it took me a little while to open up. Your first instinct is to use aggression. Your first instinct when somebody says something to you is to use violence. I recommend not doing that because you are the better person. My recommendation to you guys still dealing with it is to kill them with kindness, to make them realize that what they're saying about you is not true. Make them realize that you're just as good of a person as they are. Continue your education. Don't let the racism and the slurs and the stereotypes stop you from continuing your education. Oh, you can't do it because this is your second language. You can't go to college. Don't let that stop you. Continue. Prove to them that they're not, they're ignorant and all they're saying is not true. And when somebody talks bad to you or talks bad about you, it's because they're jealous and it's because they're ignorant. And that's all racist people are, is ignorant. And ignorance is ugly, and you just have to work past it. Don't let anybody knock you down. Happy time. In high school, I had a lot of variety of friends. I would say probably my best and worst memory was having my quinceañera. I had, nowadays it's girls use all boys as their chambelanes. I had 15 girls and 15 boys, and they were half American and half Mexican. And I taught my vals, I ran the whole show, I did everything. So it was a great experience because, I was in charge of what I wanted. I was in charge of, how I wanted it to play out. I didn't have anybody telling me, what dances to do or, what to do. The challenging part was that, like I mentioned before, my Mexican friends thought my white friends were just there for the party. My white friends thought the Mexicans were just there for the party. And I was friends with all of them. I had to make a decision on how to handle it. And the way I handled it was I got them all together, sat them down and said, "This is who I am. You're my friends and you're my friends. This is my party and this is how I want it to play out. And if you don't like it, there's the door." And nobody walked away from it. It was a fun experience for the white girls. It was a fun experience for the Mexican girls, and everybody got along. So that was definitely my best memory there. Just deciding what you wanted to do. I had a lot of aspirations. I had a lot of goals. I wanted to continue to play soccer. I wanted to go away. I wanted to be far away from Willits, because I wanted to start my own life. But when I got to that point, I went to Santa Rosa, and that was too far. I came right home. I was homesick, and I mean, Santa Rosa is not that far away, and it was overwhelming. When you're raised in a small town and a small school, and you go to something big like that, it's really overwhelming. So I hit a rough spot for about a couple years, deciding what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to give up. I knew that I wanted to work. I knew that I wanted to go to school, but it was just hard deciding what next step to take. I would definitely give them the advice to have a relationship with your parents. A lot of what I've noticed is a lot of Hispanic kids aren't able to share life with their parents because their parents grew up in Mexico where it was a lot different than here. So I find it myself going through the same thing, just not being able to share with my parents, Mom, this is going on, Dad, this is going on. And I just would definitely emphasize to have a relationship with your parents, because if you have your parents, you don't know tomorrow if you're going to have them or not. And it's just really important to appreciate them and to realize that you have and you are who you are because of what they did for you. So that to me is the most important advice.